Hi everybody, Ian Hill here. Sorry that I couldn't be there with you, but today, Saturday, I've got a big soccer tournament. My daughter's 10, and she's playing for the Northern Nevada, Eastern California, Northeastern California Championship, and I got to be there because I'm the coach. So when I was asked to come, when Chuck asked me to come, I just couldn't. And so we decided that we'd do this little video for you. Why? Well, I've been very fortunate in life. Life's been very good to me. I have more than I could have ever hoped to have. And so I spend a lot of my time, most of my time now, advocating for kids all across North America, as far away as Africa. We give away playgrounds and skate parks and fitness parks and all kinds of stuff. But that's not how it all began. Life all began to turn around in the right direction because of somebody like you. You see, I was adopted, and my adopted mother died when I was 5. My adopted father left for whatever reason when I was 13. And I found that my life was developed by people like you. Summer programs, after-school programs. People like you shaped who I am today. You literally changed my life. So when I say that we did this video because you're important, we did this video because you're important because I know you can change a life because you changed mine. I wouldn't have anything that I have today. There wouldn't be all those playground projects all across the country. One right there, right down the street from you, St. Pete, right down there the street for you in Clearwater at Ross Norton Park that we donated. All because of you or somebody like you. Over the next few minutes, I want you to thoughtfully consider something. I want you to thoughtfully consider something actually quite bold. Would you be willing to commit to changing somebody's life this summer? You see, you're going to have about 3,000, 3,100 kids participating in all of your programs, spread out over 13 sites in this Sunshine Superstars program. And whether it's a specific program, a therapeutic camp or something of that nature, or more of a general, where we go to the, the beach bash and we do all kinds of activities and we do all kinds of things. And well, either way, you, the incredibly critical staff person, seasonal employee is what you're known as, 350 of you, would you commit to changing a life this summer? I know you can, because somebody like you changed mine and put me where I'm at today. You have a profound opportunity this summer because your relationship with the kids are not like the relationships that others have. Teachers, they have more of a sage on the stage relationship with kids. But you have more of a guide on the side relationship. It prevents a tremendous opportunity. And frankly, in today's day and age, where kids are going through so much junk and so much crap, stuff that as old as I am, I can't even fathom. Some of you a little bit younger, it's even tougher than when you were their age. Kids that are going through some difficult and challenging times, they need someone like you to come alongside of them and be a guide on the side. And the great thing is, you can have fun while doing it. Summer to change a life. If you would be willing to take this on, this concept, this idea, this philosophy, this mission, then let me give you some keys to making it happen. First of all, we got to believe in kids. We got to believe in those kids because they're special and they're precious. You see, 70 billion people have lived on this planet, and there's nobody like you and there's nobody like me. 70 billion people have lived on the planet, and there's nobody like that kid that nobody wants to talk to. Like that kid that smells a little bit. Like that kid that's socially inept. Like that kid that no one wants to hang around, but always seems to be hanging on your leg. There's nobody like that kid. There's never been anybody like that kid. There'll never be anybody like that kid. That kid is a special, rare, and unique treasure. Did you know that science says there's enough energy within that kid to light a small city? Did you know that science says that nothing about them is the same as anybody else? They're rare and unique. They're special, handcrafted and handmade. Imagine if there was a 30 billion of this cell phone. 30 billion, 70 billion, let's say. 70 billion of this cell phone, but one that was special, one that was unique, one that was handcrafted and handmade. How much would that special one be worth? Priceless. That's what every kid who comes to your programs is, a priceless treasure. They're the most important thing, or should be the most important thing in their parents' lives. You have the parents' most important treasure in your hands. What will you do with it? Belief. Will you choose to instill belief into that kid? Will you share with them that they are a special, rare, and unique treasure? Will you treat them like the valuable member of their society that they are? And taking it a step further, will you be their belief for them? What do you mean? Stop and think about it. Do you ever have somebody in your life that believed in you? Believed in you enough that it changed you? I had a guy like that. I had a gal like that. Bill Bell, who ran the summer camp, believed in me. Leslie Agnew, who ran the summer camp, believed in me. Even though I was a punk, even though I was inept, even though I smelled, even though I got in a lot of trouble, even though I was a wreck, they believed in me. They saw what I could be, and I've ended up what I should be. All because someone believed in me. I challenge you to do this. I challenge you to pick out one kid. On a daily basis, I challenge you to say something positive to that kid. Hey, you look great today. Hey, that was a great shot in basketball. Hey, you swim pretty good. Hey, you're pretty funny. Hey, you're pretty talented. Hey, you're pretty skilled. Pick out one thing. Pick out one thing and instill in them on a daily basis all summer long that they got something special about them. You might be the only person in their life doing that. Now, what does that cost you? A little bit of time, a little bit of energy, a little bit of effort, a little bit of stopping thinking that the world ends at the tip of your nose? Stepping out of your problems, your issues, your challenges, and just saying, I will commit to believing in a kid and showing my belief and picking out the attributes and qualities that make them special and reinforcing that every day in that kid. You want to change someone's life this summer? You want this to be a summer where you changed a life? Then you better choose your thoughts, your words, and your actions. You better choose your thoughts, your words, and your actions. You see, these kids look up to you. They admire you. They're going to say the words you say. They're going to act the way you act. They're going to have the mannerisms you have because they look up to you. So you better choose your words, and you better choose your thoughts, and you better choose your actions very, very carefully. How about this? Will you choose to make sure you're always on time? Maybe even a little bit early. Will you choose to maybe go to the internet and do some research just for 15 minutes a day? Just go in. Start now. Go in and look up best practices in whatever. Best practices in activities and programs for this age kid, or best practices of summer camp or whatever. Will you take 15 minutes and go do some studying? Will you choose to do that? How about this? Will you choose to look sharp every day? Will you choose not to use slang words? Yeah, but I want to be relatable to the kids, man. No, show them an example. Show them an example. How about this? Will you choose to never have a laugh at a kid's expense? Never have a laugh at a kid's expense. Never be in the van or in the shuttle and then see that there's an opportunity to get the whole van to laugh, the whole shuttle to laugh because you cut down one kid. Will you choose this summer to never put a kid down? How about this? Will you choose to follow the rules? If the rules say that we do this, this, and this, will you choose to do it? Choice. What words will you choose this summer? What actions will you choose this summer? What thoughts will you choose this summer? This final one, I think it's so important. Will you choose to never judge a kid? You see, you can't be an advocate for kids and judge kids at the same time. Think about it in a courtroom. Can you sit in the judgment seat and sit in the advocate seat, the lawyer's seat at the same time? No. You see, as soon as you judge a kid, they're done with you. Don't ever judge a kid. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what's going on in their situation. You would have thrown me out. But Bill Bell and Leslie Agnew never threw me out because they knew what was going on in my life. Maybe I had gotten beaten with a coffee cup the night before. Maybe horrific things had happened to me. You don't know. So don't judge that kid. choose your thoughts, your words, and your actions very specifically to do nothing but build kids up. You want to change a life this summer? Then act on your responsibility. Responsibility. I said to you a moment ago that you have the most precious thing of a family in your hands. And frankly, you have the most precious thing of our communities in your hands, our children. So you got to follow the practices and the principles, the processes, and the policies and regulations that we've laid out. Why? Well, let me tell you a story in California, a community that I went to. A year before, there was a tragedy. It was a summer camp, and they were going on a field trip. And the camp counselors were good people, hardworking, but they chose not to follow the regulations. They didn't count the kids on the bus. They didn't count the kids off the bus. So they left a girl behind. Tragically and horrifically, that girl was later found in a ditch, raped and dead. Horrific. Just horrific. They asked me to come and speak the next year after that tragedy to the summer employees, the seasonal staff, to try to pick up morale and try to turn things around. And I did. And one of the things that I walked away from that experience was this. There was nobody that day that was supervising those kids that was a bad person. There was nobody that day that was horrible. They were all good people. They just forgot their responsibility. And their responsibility was to protect kids. Their responsibility was to ensure that there was a safe environment. Their responsibility was to follow the rules. The responsibility was to do their job. They're not bad people. Just for us, a moment in time, they just forgot their responsibility. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine what those people will go through the rest of their lives. Now, I'm not trying to be melodramatic, and I'm not trying to say that those things are going to happen in your community, but we read about crazy things happening every day. You got to protect kids. You got to act on your responsibility. You have the community and an individual's family most precious treasure in your hands. There are ways that we check kids in, and there's ways that we check them out. There's ways that we go on field trips, and there's ways that we come back. If somebody's at your park site, or somebody's at your pool, or somebody's if you're programming out of a school or a rec center, if somebody's there that doesn't belong there, don't be ashamed or afraid to walk up and say, "How may I help you?" You don't have to be mean, you don't have to be rude, you just walk up and say, "How may I help you? Are you here for one of the kids? How may I help you?" No, man, you got to protect those little ones. They're counting on you. And I am done with reading about tragedies that happen because individuals don't walk out their responsibility. You want to change your life this summer? Follow the rules. Act on your responsibility. Protect those kids. You want to change your life this summer? Then you're going to have to be committed. You see, there's a difference between being involved and being committed. And everything that Chuck has told me about you, you're committed. In those 13 sites, with those 3,100 kids, you're committed. I've heard about the stories of how you go the extra mile. I've heard about the stories how you do the extra things. I've heard the stories of how on a daily basis, in summers gone by, you've done everything you could to advocate for, to support, and to make sure that those kids have an incredible experience that changed their life. That's what I've heard. But make no mistake, somewhere in a 100-mile radius of St. Pete, somebody's making crystal meth and they want to sell it to our kids. Make no mistake, somewhere in a 100-mile radius of your community, there's a pedophile trying to figure out a new and innovative way to snatch a kid off a playground and do horrible things to them. Make no mistake that drugs and alcohol and gangs and abuse and poverty and ignorance looks to destroy our kids. And you're on the front line of that battle. And I'm counting on you. And we're counting on you. Yeah, but I don't get paid for it. I didn't say you got paid. Yeah, but I don't get recognized for it. I didn't say you get recognized. I just said you could change a life this summer. So will you commit yourself to it? Will you commit yourself for fighting for a kid by loving that kid? By having organized, efficient programs for that kid? By setting a role model and example for that kid? By building that kid up on a daily basis with the thoughts that you use, the words that you speak, and the actions that you take? Will you choose to be a professional even though you might not get paid like one? Even though you might not get recognized like one? And will you act on your responsibility? Will you commit to that? Because if you'll commit to that, you'll change a life this summer. Commitment. It's like a difference between involved and committed is like the difference between a chicken and a pig and a bacon and egg breakfast. That chicken is involved. That pig is committed. What have you committed yourself to? Just going through the motions of this job this summer? Just going, picking up your paycheck, showing up, looking at your watch, leaning on the wall, texting, whatever, ignoring the kids, just going through the motions? Or are you going to commit yourself to a noble and honorable cause that you'll pick out at least one kid this summer and pour your life into that one kid? Notice I didn't ask you to do 1 million kids, just one. Now, a couple of you, you'll pick out 2 or 3. And between the 350 of you, frontline and administration, we're going to change some lives this summer. I did this video because you're important. And even though I couldn't be there, I wanted you to know that you can make a significant difference in a kid's life. Or not. You see, if you just go through the motions of this job, if you just live out the letter of the job description and not the spirit, then you'll miss the opportunity to change a life. And what's the result of that? Leslie Agnew and Bill Bell decided that they were going to change one little chubby brown kid's life. And what's been the result of that? 3 schools for disadvantaged kids, 160 playground projects, fitness parks and skate parks around North America as far away as Africa, 3 projects in Africa. Not because I was anything special, but because you were special and you made a difference in my life. The seeds you plant this summer, you may never know if they bear fruit. But you know this, the planting of them gives a tremendous opportunity for fruit to come forth. Belief, choice, responsibility, and commitment. Those are the 4 keys to the Sunshine Superstars program. The 350 staff touching and changing the lives of 3,100 kids over 13 sites and making a significant impact in St. Petersburg. I thank you again for your work. I'm sorry that I couldn't be there. I look forward to hearing the incredible things you do this summer as you take on the mission of changing a life this summer. Take care, everybody.